Alright, looks like this damn thing is live, and I'm being reminded why I wanted to shave earlier this week and didn't get around to it, but... Alright, let's see, how crooked is this camera? Yeah, they never really... Not sure what it is about the options on live streaming. Why they seemed crummier this time. It's like, yeah, they didn't give me enough time to make a to image for the snapshot in this damn thing, and then it's you want to let me redo the snapshot, but I've redone snapshots for live stream videos before. It's like, whatever. Here the video is live, and I've already wasted 52 seconds complaining about the process of starting up the live stream, and now that I can see how this camera's gonna look, I'm gonna fight with this damn thing for a moment. Because my primitive tripod... There. And you know what? You probably can't see me anyway. Given my crappy internet connection speeds, I'm probably pixelated all to hell. It's like, can you see that my glasses are blue, or do you just have some blue pixels there? I don't know. Can you read my t-shirt? Can you... Alright, time to get on with this thing. People of Earth! Go fuck yourselves! No, wait, that wasn't the message. That wasn't very diplomatic of me. What the fuck was I going to talk about? Oh, a while back I was thinking about doing a video. Well, actually, a while back I did do a video comparing YouTube, DTube, DLive, and BitChute. Just rambling on, and really I just kind of rambled. And then immediately after that, DLive changed a whole bunch. So it's like, I kind of want to talk about that again. And I never got around to that until now. And you know what? The settings in this camera, I really hate how they mirror things. I have a feeling that this is going to broadcast on YouTube backwards. Yeah, isn't that lovely? Never did that the first couple times I live streamed, even though it kind of gave me a mirrored image on this screen here. But I'm complaining about this setup. Anyway, yeah, I was gonna talk about some of the changes done to DLive since I switched over from Steem to Lino, the Lino blockchain, and it'd be a good chance for me to try to think of in fairly simple and less drawn out way of describing the differences between DTube and DLive. And wow, I'm looking at how much time I've already wasted. Yeah, and I was also thinking about, if I have time, rambling on about Star Trek versus Star Wars, because I've one of my primary forms of entertainment when I go on the internet is watching people talk about Star Trek. You know, there's also Star Trek TV shows and Star Trek novels. I noticed something. There was a great industry of Star Trek novels. Then they came out with that horribly idiotic Star Trek 2009 movie. And I mean, every plot point in it was idiotic. I mean, it was just stupid beyond belief. If you wanna make it look not quite as stupid, you could always set it next to Star Trek Discovery, and it still looks horribly stupid, even next to Discovery, which is also incredibly stupid. It's like if you were trying to make a TV show or movie that was incredibly stupid, and you wanted to find a way to put together some plot points that were just so randomly cobbled together that are just inappropriately simplistic way of putting out a story that kind of seems Star Trek. Both Star Trek 2009 and Star Trek Discovery found a way to do that and hit the ground running. Oddly enough, Star Trek Beyond was actually the one good thing that has come out of Star Trek since 2009. But anyway, what I was gonna comment on is, after that incredibly dumb Star Trek 2009 movie, it's like Star Trek no longer appeals to people who can read. It's like, there used to be all kinds of Star Trek novels, and many of them excellent, and now they all just kind of... They're gone. You go to the bookstore, and it's like, not as much as there used to be. I was kind of disappointed with Star Trek novels, though. Partly... part of what impressed me with the Star Trek novels is they were starting to do what Star Wars did and get their continuity together, even though they weren't alpha canon, which is the term amongst Star Trek fans for something that's actually canonical. They were beta canon. And what beta canon means is they were generally respected by other people who worked with the Star Trek license as a guideline for something you might want to try not to contradict. In fact, they started organizing in a way that they became consistent, and one novel helped expand the world of the other novels, and that they weren't just things that were trying to put out stories in between TV episodes while trying not to step on the toes of the TV episodes and just waiting to be contradicted by the TV episodes. They actually became something on their own that was like part of the Star Trek multiverse. They actually became a fairly fleshed out universe, and and some of them a little bit different universes. But and I got a little disappointed when they did the Star Trek Enterprise novels based on the Romulan Wars, and they kind of squandered and wasted and just completely wasted that time period in the Star Trek mythos on like just a couple novels that they managed to spread out over a large period of time, and it's like, no, that wasn't cool. That wasn't cool, especially when you waste the Romulan Wars. It's like I wanted to see something based around the Romulan Wars for a damn long time, and then they come out with the novels based on the Romulan Wars, and it's like, this sucks. It's not a bad book. Not as good as your average Star Trek Enterprise novel. A little more dreary, a little less well thought out, a little more. It actually was kind of convoluted at times. The way that they worked around the final episode. Like at first, it seemed like, oh well, they came up with a fairly good idea for working around that final episode. But that final episode hadn't happened yet, so you had all kinds of time to ignore the final episode between the second last episode of Star Trek Enterprise. You had years before the final episode. Anyway, I'm getting off topic, but before I started this live stream, all 7 minutes of it, crap, I'm really rambling. I noticed a new video by the Anti-Tracker where I didn't watch the whole thing because I realized, I was going to set up this stupid little camera, cell phone, and do some live streaming. And I noticed a video by the Anti-Tracker where he was talking about, I'm not really sure, I think I didn't watch every video he did because I can't, I don't have that kind of time. Even though I have a fair bit more free time now, I don't have that much time realistically. So, I mean, what was I saying? Yeah, oh my god, I need more caffeine. I shouldn't be up during the daylight hours, but the energy drink with video game characters on the can. Yeah, lovely. Fucking lovely. The Anti-Tracker did a video discussing the differences between Star Trek and Star Wars and why a comparison is going to be one-sided. And he basically talked about, it was something he noticed, and I thought he was going to discuss this at first, because this was something I thought of different times when dealing with how powerful a Star Trek ship actually is, especially their incredible shields. Because the Constitution-class Enterprise gets struck with a force at the start of an episode equal 90 photon torpedoes, it's still standing. It didn't completely knock the shields down, indicating that the shields can take a whole bunch of photon torpedoes, which is good because if you look at the information on what photon torpedoes are, they're kind of like... if you were a real-world weapon that would be kind of comparable, would be the Tsar Bomba. And if you don't know what the Tsar Bomba is, most powerful nuclear weapon ever tested, and actually the variation of it that was tested was actually a downscaled version of it, because the people that tested it were a little bit like, okay, we tested a lot of bad stuff, I don't know, let's test the downscaled version of this thing. Yeah, the Tsar Bomba, made by the Soviet Union. I believe people were able to detect the shockwave in the air. I mean, this probably would have required special listening equipment. I don't think anybody was standing out in the backyard going, "Oh, I heard the shockwave halfway around the world," and then, "Oh, there, I heard it again." But apparently, the shockwave was loud enough that it was measurable, traveling around the world 3 times. Yeah, so Tsar Bomba. Yeah. I think standard photon torpedo yield was supposed to be, I think it was a kilogram and a half of matter and a kilogram and a half of antimatter, creating. Oh, there's the phone. Of course, there's the phone. This is. Hello? Hello? Oh, I'm all right. How about you? Yeah, she's up in Sheet Harbor. Yeah, I was just live streaming at the moment. Could I call you back? Uh, Probably not tomorrow, but before next Wednesday, probably. Probably around Wednesday. I probably could take a drive up Wednesday. But kind of wanted to get back to the camera since it's broadcasting. uh, um, yeah, probably. Well, give me a call before then just to remind me. Yeah. I don't know of anything that would be happening next week to prevent that. All right. All right. Talk to you then. Yeah. Bye. Oh. Yeah. Actually, I stopped in there once last week, but I haven't got around to visiting him in a while. So, anyway, unimportant other than there was dead screen time there for a while. Well, maybe YouTube will blame me for just spamming video, just broadcasting and doing nothing because it wasn't on the screen. But there was audio. You could hear the audio. I'm sure. I don't know. If it wasn't that the phone would have went to voicemail so fast, I would have looked for, where is it? Yeah, I'm just wasting time. Yeah, but this is a live stream, so I've watched live streams. They're all about wasting time. Damn it, I really needed to shave. I need to trim my fingernails, too. Alright, where's that damn... Alright, was it here? Okay, yeah, no, not that. Don't want that. Alright, alright, where? There used to be options here. Alright, what's this? What's that? Okay, no. Well, let's see what's here. What's here? Alright, ooh. Alright, things are gonna get exciting. Yeah, there we go. There we go. My nose is itchy. My nose is itchy, and I have allergies. Yep, it's a dance party. Hey, what's this? Oh, look, we're gonna have a dream. That's what this dream mode. Okay, yeah, that's the... I don't know what you're seeing on your pixelated end of this, but and it's not your fault if it's pixelated. It's my fault. My internet connection sucks. But I don't know about anybody else, but my dreams don't look like that. All right, let's see. All right, what do we have here? Oh, look. Now we're a documentary. Yeah, look at that. Now, for all I know, this might just be showing me examples. For all I know, you might not be seeing the same thing on your end. So, sketch. Oh, sketch is cool. Sketch is cool. There we go. I'm being drawn to you. Now, I just thought of something. I just realized that I keep commenting on this. We all know how bad the resolution is for this, so maybe you just can't see anything at all. Okay. The cat is struggling. The cat did not want to be picked up at the moment. You didn't want to be picked up, Piper? Why didn't you want to be picked up? Why? All right. How much time did I waste? Do you see that, Piper? Yeah. Yeah, all right. There you go. You look back at me like you're confused, but it's like, oh, you know what? I'm going to hang around and maybe you'll pick me up again. Will I? No. All right. So what setting is this? This setting is YTFF. What the hell is that? All right, let's see. This is also, what's this do? What's that one? Okay, there's microphones. Microphones or robot's dildo or something. I don't know. Yeah. Yeah, okay, yeah. All right. That's enough of that. Oh. It didn't work. There you go. Alternate universe. It's the universe on the other side of a black hole. Fuck. All right. Let's get this back to normal. Whatever happened to Bubble? Wait. What's that one? That one says Bob. Yeah. Man, I've been aging. Last year's a bad year. Hey, what's this one? What's that one do? Yeah. All right. No, let's go back to that. All right. Why was there no bubble? There should have been a bubble option. I mean, oh, there it is. How did I miss that? I clicked on two ones on both sides of it. How did I not see that? There we go. Now I'm in the bubbles. All the bubbles. Bubbles. Can't reach the bubbles. Oh, well. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I know this sucks. All right. Oh my God. That just killed 17 minutes and 29 seconds, 30 seconds. Well, I might as well just give up. I ain't talking about nothing I wanted to. I'm just... I was thinking this would... I figured if I did this, I wouldn't have to manage space on my various recording devices, taking up space while I record something. Yeah. So now I'm just wasting the time of anybody that clicks on this video because I ain't talked about nothing in 18... Oh, wow. All right. How do I get rid of this crap? All right. Can I... No. All right. Let's go down. No. All right. What if I press there? All right. That's just... All right. No, that's not what I want. All right. Cancel. And... All right. Was this thing here? All right. There we go. Back to normal. Ugh, normal. That's a bad word. All right. Now, what in the hell was I going to talk about? All right, I think I was trying to make a comment on Star Wars and Star Trek. Yeah, the Anti-Trekker just did a video. This one I hadn't thought of. Because there's an issue with Star Trek versus Star Wars when they compare the ship combat. I thought was way too big to ignore. But I'll get to mine in a moment. But the Anti-Trekker mentioned... how he was watching and rewatching an old episode of the original series where they talked about at a very far range, I forget how many kilometers away it was, that there was an object a meter long that they targeted with a photon torpedo, and it was no big deal that they, fired a photon torpedo at it. Meanwhile, in Star Wars, there was an exhaust port 2 meters wide. And they had to get rather close to fire a proton torpedo down it. And one of the other pilots is all like, "Well, that's an undoable shot." And Luke Skywalker's like, "But I kill wild animals, with a blah 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 whatever, without any problem. And I'm not a psychopath like Jeffrey Dahmer." No, I'm making fun of Luke Skywalker for that line because, what he claimed he was able to shoot at that distance that isn't much larger. So their X-Wings had to get ridiculously close to the thermal vent port thing, whatever. And the Constitution-class starship, equipped with photon torpedoes, could easily target something half that size. I don't know, just a thought. That was a pretty good example on, you could easily see how limited Star Wars weapons are, often by the plot and their limited range and so forth. Well, the Star Trek stuff, it's like, yeah, it's a futuristic advancement in Star Trek. So a crossover between the two. Some people would say, well, you can't do it because one's a fantasy story about a galaxy a long time ago and far away and blah, 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 whatever. Excuse me. And the other one's like a science fiction story. And it's like, no, you can still do a crossover. You can still compare them. What if the two universes crossed over? What should happen? And Federation versus the Empire and so forth. But yeah, it just goes to show you that the technology of the Star Wars galaxy doesn't hold up well against the Star Trek technology. I just thought that was interesting. That was a video that I just saw, which made me want to ramble on about what I always thought was one of the most important factors in a Star Trek versus Star Wars battle. And that was, there's an episode of the original series, and to be honest, I'm not sure if I should use the original series because it contradicts itself so often. I mean, there's one episode where they can't fire the phasers at a target on a planet because they have their shields up. And it's like, don't they have their shields up during space combat? What? And they're like, the enemy on that planet has us targeted with their whatevers, and if we drop our shields, they can shoot us. We better not drop our shields or we're dead. But we have to drop the shields to fire the phasers. And it's like, that contradicted every single space battle in Star Trek prior to that and after that. I think they even beamed somebody. I'd have to rewatch the episode, but I'm pretty sure they even beamed somebody down to the planet. And it's like, original series just didn't care. But anyway, ignoring that because that was contradicted by every single episode of Star Trek before and after it. There was one moment in Star Trek that always stood out to me, and that was a time, what was it? I forget the name of the title. Maybe it was a Pygmalion reference. Probably not. But there was the episode where Elana Troyes, is that what it was? Yeah, was that the character name? Anyway, basically, Kirk has to take an aristocratic nutbag to some planet because she has to blah, 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 whatever, and, diplomacy, marrying people off for diplomacy and other primitive stuff like that was going on amongst those species, and the Enterprise was going to transport this person, and she's very hostile and rude, and Kirk tries to teach her how to be a decent sentient being, blah, 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 whatever. Turns out she has dilithium, and the reason why there's Klingons in the area interested in her planet is because it's loaded with dilithium, and you can bet the Klingons would love to get their hands on a whole bunch of dilithium. So the Federation. In fact, the Enterprise was having a serious malfunction, and what they needed to fix it was some dilithium, and she had some dilithium. And there was a line in it. Basically, it was I forget exactly how it was worded, but basically the Klingon ship was fighting the Enterprise, or attacking them, or threatening them, or whatever, and they commented that without the warp drive, they basically can fight back, but it's going to be a losing battle. They'll just be wallowing around in space without able to properly evade and target and all that wonderful stuff. So warp drive amongst Star Trek ships is useful in combat. Now, very often you'll see ships drop out of warp when one of the ships is being attacked and they feel as though they'll have a maneuvering advantage at sublight speeds. But that also indicates that warp is very usable in combat. Now, some people would say the phasers are not usable at warp because they only travel at the speed of light, and actually they're shown to travel slower than the speed of light, very distinctly shown that in both the original series, Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager, everywhere except for, I'm pretty sure you can see visual evidence of it in just about everything that is Star Trek, except for Star Trek Enterprise. And that's because Star Trek Enterprise didn't have phasers except for in that one episode that was in the Mirror Universe. And phase cannons are a type of particle cannon, which phasers could be comparable, particle beam, but not the same thing. But anyway, so phasers don't travel faster than the speed of light, but anything at warp does. And we did see in the original series references to them firing the phasers while using warp engines, and if they commonly use warp while fighting to maneuver, then obviously the phasers can be fired at that speed. I believe there was an episode of Next Generation, I recall. I believe it was the one where both Picard and Riker are abducted by other by another ship, or that episode where they think Picard's dead, and then Riker gets captured by the same people that have captured Picard. Turns out he's not dead. You know that episode. I'm pretty sure that's the episode where I recall Data calling to have the phasers activated while they were at warp. But I think the other ship ends up getting away, so you never actually see them fire the phasers at warp. But, if Data's calling for the phasers at warp, mispronounced warp, call for fire the phasers at warp, I would say the phasers can be called at warp. I would say Data would know. Then in Deep Space Nine, phasers get used at warp. In fact, there's one point where a runabout uses the phasers at warp. I forget what Voyager did. I saw Voyager fire a tachyon beam at warp that I recall. Usually photon torpedoes are used at warp because they're more maneuverable. Then when you get to the prequel series in Star Trek Enterprise, you see the first reference to them not being able to fire a particle beam at warp when Archer calls for the fairly powerful phase cannons, which are phase modulated particle cannons, which, as far as I can tell, use a process of turning plasma into a particle beam. As far as I can tell. My nose is still itchy. And I think one of the cats is picking at something. Don't pick at that chair. Alright. Is that camera? I don't know what that is. I don't want to know. Alright, anyway. There was a reference to the possibility that their own particle beam weapons might destabilize their warp field, possibly blow out their own